Hi, so welcome to this chair yoga practice. It's a series that I'm putting in our beginner sequence. I think sometimes it's just nice to be able to do a seated practice, whether you're at your desk, traveling, but whatever the reason really. Sometimes I just don't feel like doing a whole practice, and a lot of the poses can happen in the chair. So if it's a day that I'm feeling kind of heavy or tamasic in my gunas, I can still get movement in and get some circulation going and help elevate the mood. If you're not familiar with the terms that I just used, tamasic and guna, please head over and to some of the other playlists and learn about the energy of yoga. I go into more detail in some other videos there. But today I want the theme of our practice to be to cultivate an attitude of ease. I know a lot of us are sitting kind of in this soup of fear of hormones in our autonomic nervous system and our physiology, and I hope today that this gentle practice can help you cultivate an attitude of ease. So let's just drop inward and begin to deepen our inhalation and lengthen the exhalation and observe the breath as it moves the rib cage and the spine. So see if you can feel it three-dimensionally. So let's see if we can lengthen that a little bit. And remember, the number isn't the most important thing, but let's see if we can do a 4-count inhale, a 10-second hold, and a 4-count exhale, okay? Inhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, hold, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4, Om 5, Om 6, Om 7, Om 8, Om 9, Om 10, exhale, Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4. So that's how it's going to go. And I'm filming during our shelter-in-place time for the coronavirus. And this is a tip that they've given everybody to do every single morning to see if you can have that inhale, that expansive inhale, hold the breath for 10 seconds, and exhale without coughing. I understand why they're saying that, and it is a good check, but I also know from working with clients over a decade that sometimes people's breath capacity isn't there yet. They're a little fearful of their breath, or to make it that expansive, or to hold it for that long. So I just want you to give yourself some permission to explore with that, and it's a great time to practice some different breath techniques and expand that breath capacity. So I'll be quiet and let's practice that 3 times on our own together. I hope that helped you to observe how your breath moves a little bit more in the body. So I want to stay with that breath, but now I want to add some motion to it. So I want you to ride the wave of your breath as we begin to move in and out of cat-cow. So it'll be 1 breath, 1 movement. So perhaps we're exhaling when we're in cat, and we're inhaling when we're in cow. And we want to keep that movement riding the wave of the breath. Inhaling here. And exhaling here. Inhaling here. And exhaling here. Inhaling. And exhaling. And coming back to that neutral breath. So we're going to continue with this flow with the breath, riding the wave of the breath. But I want to bring the arms out to 90 degrees, and we're going to pretend that these are our bird wings, so that you inhale and open up your wings, and then exhale, flow the wings back together. Inhale, open up the wings, and exhale, flow it back together. So again, ride the wave of your breath, let the movement ride that. One more time here. And then bringing that down. So now we want to add just a little bit of a larger movement. We're still sticking with that concept of the movement riding the wave of the breath, but let's make it whole body and integrated. So as I round into cat, we'll lift one leg up. As I lift into cow, I'll stretch the arm up. As I round into cat, I lift the other leg up. As I reach into cow, I take that other arm up. So we'll just alternate with your breath, exhaling here, inhaling here, exhaling here, inhaling here. See, sometimes my movement wants to get faster than my breath, then I catch it. And it's a moment of mindfulness to stay in the present moment, not to rush. Bringing it back down. Let's do a simple twist. So again, we're going to keep moving in and out of the pose. So still that concept of movement rides the wave of the breath. So nice deep inhale and exhale. then coming back to center, we'll move into a side bend. So take that arm up, connect it to the ear, and inhale over and up. So sticking with one side, one breath, one movement. We'll begin to switch sides. And we'll bring that all the way down. All right, so let's reach back for chest expansion. Grab the back of the chair, lift up. Feel how the tips of the shoulder blades are drawing together. Good, and then release that. All right, so we'll stand up and we'll hold on to the back of the chair here. So I have the highest part of the chair. And I'll step forward with one foot so that those toes face the short edge of the yoga mat, my knees against the seat. I'll heel toe out and press through that back heel. I'm moving into warrior one. So the hands can stay here while you balance. And remember that the back leg is very active. And then you'll begin to step forward. So we'll switch those legs out. The knee is forward, the back heel's down. I square up my pelvis. I can feel that I'm in a little bit of a back bend. Once I feel both feet equally weighted and both legs active, I find that breath. Remember that our theme is to cultivate an attitude of ease. And then go ahead and step forward. I'm going to turn my chair around so that now I have the seat that I can hang on to as I move into warrior three. Sorry, my throat's getting dry from filming. All right, so we'll bring the hands down onto the seat, and then I want you to take one leg straight up and back so that the toes, if I look underneath my body, my toes on my lifted leg are still facing the floor. And bring that down and we'll switch sides. So same thing. That standing leg, that hip is pulling back. I imagine that this foot is going to reach the wall. So I am pushing back through it as I reach my head towards the top of the seat. And then I'll go ahead and stand up from that. We can do some wall sun salutation. So I set my mat up so that I could be close to that. You can bring your hands onto the wall and then walk yourself out. So you make kind of an L shape. This would be your downward facing dog. And then lift up into a plank. You might need to adjust the hands. And you can walk your feet in a little bit if you'd like. And then take into that tricep push-up or that crocodile position. And then let the hips come forward and lift up into your up dog or cobra. And then push yourself back and sit back into chair. And then all the way up, walk yourself back out, make that L shape. My hands are pushing into the wall. My feet are parallel. And then I slowly come up. I walk my hands up a little bit, coming to that plank position, walking my feet in if I'd like. I come into that tricep push-up, and then I lift and extend up into my cobra. And then I sit back, fingertips still on the wall into my chair. So just a little movement there of how you can play with the wall to add some balance and some feedback in the body. Remember, props always help us find more work. So now let's come back so we're sitting onto our chair again. And I want to come into a long twist. So before, when we started the practice, we had a twist, but we flowed with the breath. I'd like you to come into the twist and we'll hold there for 7 full breaths. And slowly coming back, and we'll switch to the other side. And slowly coming all the way back. I'd like to do a piriformis stretch. So if you cross your leg over, sometimes it's known as the Taylor stretch, and support your ankle on your leg, and just allow there to be a nice stretch. If you push down on your leg, please don't do so on the knee joint. Please come to the middle of that upper thigh bone, and you can push down, but make sure you're not drawing your shoulder up. Remember, our theme today is to cultivate an attitude of ease. We don't always need this great big sensation to actually have benefits. And we'll begin to switch legs. From here, let's come into forward fold. So we'll allow the belly to rest onto the thighs. And slowly walk yourself up. Let's find a seated Shavasana or relaxation pose. Remember, you'll be sitting all the way back to the back edge of the seat. If you're a shorty like me, find some books or some blocks to lift the legs up so that you feel comfortable. And then think about drawing the tips, the shoulder blades back slightly so the hands can relax in your lap and palms facing up. Feel free to put on some socks or a sweater if you'd like. And then close the eyes or look off of your cheekbones. And begin to drop further inward. Begin by deepening that inhalation. Lengthening your next exhalation. And observe how the breath moves the rib cage and the spine. Perhaps on the inhalation you notice how your collarbone rolls upward. And on the exhalation, how it rolls downward. Notice on the inhale how the bottom of the ribs expand out. On the exhale, they narrow in towards the pelvis. And begin to notice the depth of the breath. Is it shallow or deep? Notice the texture of the breath. Is it smooth or choppy, wet or dry? Know that you're not being rushed. I want you to stay here and relax as long as you need. I'd like you to stay focused on the in and out breath. If you find that your mind wanders like it will, simply bring it back to the in and the out. Staying present with that breath. I'll leave you now so that you can rest. The light in me honors the light in you.